Hello, it's Kari again here today with a back to school project. I thought it would be really fun to combine this stamp set called It's All Relative with this one here that's got the apple and the little mouse holding an apple. That's from the Little Angel stamp set from Missing Stamps, and create a back to school kind of note card. So I'm going to start out using this basket case stencil that's still one of my favorite stencils. It has such beautiful fine lines, an amazing design to it. Look at this. I'm going to go ahead and ink this on using some of this Rockin' Red ink from Catherine Pooler Designs. This is beautiful. I'm inking it on really light just to get kind of a nice hint of red for this back to school background. And it's going to have such a beautiful result here. I'm just going to move those magnets out of the way to ink that on fully. And look at this. So beautiful. I missed a little spot down here in the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back on. Ink that over just like this. There we go, much better. So here's our background, and now I'm going to take one of the small little apples from that stamp set right there, and I'm going to stamp it in between each of these designs. This is really easy to do. I love the idea of using small stamp sets to create a background. It's so simple and easy, and I'm just going to stamp them right in between all of those open areas right there. I'm using the same red ink to stamp this on, but you could use black ink if you wanted to get a darker impression. Whatever you want to do. I love the look of this. It's kind of like a patterned paper now. So you can use this for anything you want. I'm going to use it as the background of my card today. Now I'm going to take that chalkboard stamp and stamp it, white heat emboss it on some black cardstock along with the sentiment that says "You're brilliant." I always think some positive affirmations for kids going back to school is really, really helpful. So I like this one a lot. There's another one that there's quite a few actually on the It's All Relative stamp set that would be great for some positive school affirmations. So this one I'm using is just the one that says "You're brilliant." I have some fine detail white embossing powder now, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour that on and heat set that with my embossing tool. I just fussy cut that out, and I also cut along the inside line using my craft knife. And now I'm going to color up some of these little images. You can see I've stamped the little mouse with the apple, the extra apple. I've got a bunny rabbit here and a squirrel, along with that desk with all the books on top. But instead of coloring it up like a desk today, I'm going to color it just like a table. So I'm not going to color that inside part like I normally would. This time it's just going to be a table, like a library table. So there, I just colored up the apples. I realized one of my red Copics is getting a little dry, so I set that aside. I have a spot where I put my Copics that need re-inking. I might need to buy a refill for that. I'm going to have to check on that. So that makes it really easy to keep up with my Copics. I'm just going to color these books. I'm going to color some of them red, some of them green, and some of them black. So I'm keeping to a really easy color scheme, adding a little bit of yellow in there as well with the ruler, the pencils, and that cup. And I colored up the mouse with some cool grays. Now I'm coloring up that little bunny rabbit with some cool grays. And then I'll finish off with the squirrel, and I'm going to color the squirrel with warm grays. Just to give a little variation, a little bit of difference here in the animals. And these are super simple to color. They're so small. You really don't have to do a lot of shading if you don't want to, because they are just small little images, so they're very easy to color. Here's that squirrel with the warm grays. I'm just going to blend these all out using 3 different shades, as you can see, the W5, the W3, and W1. I'll finish him off, add a little bit of pink to his ears, the same pink that I added to the bunny and the mouse. And I'm going to use those same warm grays on the table. So we're just going to color up the legs and the tabletop and not the front of the desk, because I'm going to cut that out. So here's our library table, just using those same colors of gray Not worrying too much about the shading, but adding a little bit of highlight there. And now I'm going to cut all of these out, and then we'll put our card together. I realized that I wanted a landscape card background, so I redid the background just the same way, only landscape this time. And now I'm just kind of laying out where I want all those animals to go. That's going to be super cute. And then I have a sentiment from this stamp set right here that says just a note. And this is going to look perfect right here for our note. This can be a really cute note for like a lunchbox or a backpack, but I'm going to use it for back to school clothes. I always like to buy a few little items for my kids when they go back to school. Now to get that chalkboard look, I went ahead and inked on a little bit of white, and now I'm taking this Snow Flurries ink, which is a white pigment ink, and I'm just kind of going over that chalkboard to give it that chalky look. It's so cool. And then I'm going to do the same thing on an A2 size black cardstock. This is going to be the background for our entire card. And I'm just inking it on and then rubbing a little bit off to get that chalkboard look. I realized I wish I would have done a little bit of the direct to paper method like I did on the chalkboard, but it turned out okay this way as well. So I went ahead and adhered the chalkboard and the table with some liquid adhesive. And now I'm going to pop up each of those little animals using these small square foam dots, or foam squares, I should say. And I'm using my tweezers to place those so my fingers don't get in the way. And I'll put the mouse on top of the chalkboard, the squirrel kind of in the middle on the chalkboard ledge there. And then the little bunny is going to go underneath the library table. I cut one of those in half to fit right over his legs there. Give him enough support, and I'll add him with my tweezers as well. This is giving me some Cinderella vibes with the helping animals. I think we should all have helping animals in our lives. Mine would definitely clean my craft room. How about you? So here's a look at the final project. Look how cute with the chalkboard look, the books, all the animals, and you're brilliant. I think that my granddaughters are just going to love this, and I hope that you love these ideas too. Thanks so much for stopping by. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. It really helps out with YouTube. I'll be back real soon with more card making inspiration. See you then. Bye-bye.